Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone and taught us this truth and our well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here little lesson real quick, dealing with Esau's motive in these last days concerning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Because you have to understand that Esau is, how would I say, he's striving to take away, our blessing, all right? Ultimately, to rule forever, all right? Esau wants to rule forever. We're in a time now where, matter of fact, let me go back to that. Where basically where Esau is in rulership at this point in time, but ultimately his reign is a temporary reign. So let me start here in Genesis 27. I'm starting at verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So going into this, you can understand that it says, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven above. All right. And he was going to also, live by the sword. So we can understand that how Esau is going forth in the whole earth, conquering with the sword. All right. This is going into his blessing. All right. And it says, and shall serve thy brother. So he has a temporary rule. All right. Let me go over here to Job 9:24. This is the point where we're at now. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. So this is the time that Esau is in. All right. And just like, a lot of the things you have in the world where there's, kids playing a video game. Okay, it's your turn, his turn. Once it's your turn, you want to get in and have your little fun. But then when it's time to switch out for somebody else to come in, and, when you like looking at little kids, they get a little upset. No, man, 5 more minutes or, things like that. So this is the point where Esau's at, man. All right. And part of his plan, all right, is to cut you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans off completely so that he may reign forever, man. All right. So let me start to let's grab a couple precepts touching in on this here lesson, because ultimately this is what you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans need to understand. All right. When these things are coming to pass, as far as what these mandates and just a way of how he treats you out here, man. All right. He's trying to ultimately get rid of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, mainly the elect, because the 2/3 he knows, and they're going to fall in line with the mandates of, ultimately implementing the Revelation 13 and the Charagma. All right. So to say, once he gets that up inside of you, you're pledging allegiance to him. So, hey, man, and we already know that the majority of our people, they how do I say, they stay on Egypt, man. All right. They worship whatever this man says, man. All right. But ultimately, it's the elect that he's worried about, But it says Psalms 83. Let me just read from the top. It says, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies, all right, and Esau's our number one enemy, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken a crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So with a lot of the things that they're doing right now with these different crafty counsels, how can we get these things? I seen an article just the other day about how so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the number one hesitant people on getting these jabs, and how another article on how they need to go and double down on our communities to so-called get us to take these things and everything else like that, man. All right. And if you have the spiritual eyes to understand what's going on, you really see how Esau's coming down with this here great wrath. In fact, let me go grab that real quick. Revelation 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. And this is the point in time that we're in right now, man. Esau is seeing, the elect starting to wake up. Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones coming to play. All right. So he knows he has but a short time. So what? He's going to try to double down and try to, how do I say, persuade even the elect so that he may reign over them forever, man. So that he may reign forever and ever and ever, man. But ultimately, like the scriptures say, his inward thoughts is that his house shall dwell forever. All right. But ultimately, there's a boundary set that the Most High set for him that he can't pass. All right. But nevertheless, when dealing with this here demon out here, man, you have to understand what his ultimate objective is for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, who are the children of Israel. So let's go back to Psalms 83 and 3. It says, they have taken a crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right. So, they did a good job of that beforehand, to where we, forgot who we were, forgot about the law statutes and the commandments. We were out here following after Esau and his ways, man. We're calling ourselves Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, black folks. But now we're starting to call ourselves the Israelites and things like that. See, beforehand, when we was just calling ourselves so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and eating shrimp, crabs, lobster, and stuff like that, Esau was like, we don't really care, because, hey, they just constantly sinning. They constantly going off. So they're not even thinking about the Lord. But now that we're starting to wake back up, man, this is now a time where he's coming down with great wrath, because he knows he has but a short time. All right. He knows that his rulership is coming to an end. All right. Verse 4 says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. All right. So ultimately, going into these things, man, this is what they want to do, man. All right. Break us out of this mindset of calling on the Lord and things like that. All right. And ultimately, like the elect is waking up right now. He ultimately wants to put us to death, man. All right. Because, this is what's stopping him. We calling on the name of the Lord. He know the Lord's going to come and deliver us, man, which is in turn taking him out of power. But nevertheless, this is what his MO is. So when you see these little plans and these, let me read back up again. It says, verse 3, it says, for they have taken a crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So when you see these different agendas being pushed forth, all right, you have to understand what his MO is, all right, what his in-game plan is, all right? He ultimately wants to get rid of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that he may reign over top of you, man, all right, and rule the earth forever and ever and ever, man. Stay in that rulership, all right? Let me go to Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36 and 1, it says, also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in our possessions. All right, so not only did they inhabit our lands now. It says, therefore prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and taken up into the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. So, they pretty much have us as the downtrodden and swallowed us all up, man. Again, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. They didn't pretty much turned us into so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in a mind state, to where we just cleaving onto these, a death style, eating pork, all right, running around, gang banging and doing drugs and things like that, man. They want to see us in that state. But as we start to wake up, that great fear fell upon them, all right? Because why? They know that the end has come. All right. But ultimately, like the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. Well, you have to understand that in a reverse pattern. All right. Well, we was already consumed all the way to the end. All right. That means that Esau is in control. But now you're starting to see Jake waking up and Esau starting to fall down. We know this is the end. All right. Verse 4. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh power. Thus saith Yahweh power to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate waste, to the cities that are forsaken, which become a prey and derision, to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, surely in my fire and my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possessions, with the joy of their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast them out for a prey. All right, so ultimately, going back into Esau's agenda, man, this is what he ultimately wants to do, man. Take all of our, take our ancient high places, which he has the land of Israel. All right, put himself up into that place, cover with all the faces of the judges thereof, make himself to set himself up as God, continuously to push off the agenda of us going off and everything else like that, man. All right, implement that charagma so that every man will serve him. All right, then what is he going to be able to say? Look, Lord, none of your people even want to worship you no more. If anything, they all going off anyway. You might as well just go ahead and destroy them. And who is the Lord's sword? It's Esau. All right, but what he don't understand is he has his boundaries that he cannot pass, man. All right, it's not according to his will. It's according to the Most High's will. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. I'm going to start at verse... Deuteronomy 28, I'm going to start at verse 47. Because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for abundance of all things, therefore shall Thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and thirst and nakedness and the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron around thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. All right, and this is pretty much the state, what he, this obviously when we came over here, he did this unto us, but then how much more in these latter times, man, when us waking up, man, he's trying to, put other things inside of us, again, which is going to show forth of who you serve. It's a different type of yoke, man. All right. Verse 49, Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. All right. So again, when you understand who you're dealing with in these last days, man, you think he's putting these commercials and these mandates out to actually help you, man? All right, this is the person that's been sent for your reproof, man. This is the person that's sent forth for your own judgment. All right, let me jump down. Well, let me read 60 from 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahweh have given thee a trembling of heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life. So going into these things, man, hey, if you're not serving the Most High, man, all right, this is the mind state you're going to be in, a constant state of terror and death, man, and rightfully so, because this is what Esau's agenda is, and how much more in these latter days, man, when he knows he has but a short time, he knows his rulership is coming to an end. He's going to come down into you having great wrath, because he's trying to exterminate you ultimately, man. All right, we'll close out with this real quick in Daniel chapter 9 and 12. And he have confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. All right, going into what these curses, part of the ones we was just reading, but ultimately Esau, Edom. All right. For under the whole heaven have not been done, have been done unto Jerusalem. So you have to keep these types of things in mind. Who is the number one enemy of Israel, man? All right, you so-called Edom, or you so-called white people, you Edomites. All right. So when you see this damn devil charading around on TV and things like that, and so-called have the best interest for you, or certain plans and mandates, so-called trying to help you out, like the scriptures say, never trust thy enemy. Though he go a crouching, man, you have to understand that this man still don't have your best intentions, man. All right. So nevertheless, you have to, cleave unto the Most High, come back to the law, statutes, commandments. The Most High have set you a way out through the prophets, man. All right, he revealed his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. But yet, you have a lot of our people that are listening and cleaving unto Esau when he has his secret counsel, his secret agenda. But the Most High has made that known unto us, man. He's trying to get rid of us, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord, when the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And salutation and much love for you. I can push in this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.